This meeting to order on this very cold night. It's just welcome for those of you that are here and those of you that are virtual. And
Hey, Dora,
yeah,
Read AI, is that LaTanya? It just asked me if I would allow them to join. I don't know why it's asking me.
it might be Paula just joined, and does anyone
Read
have
AI.
AI on your?
It's fine, you can just click accept if there's an accept on there.
It is Mr. Peace's, so it is safe.
Okay, just wanted to let somebody know.
Now, those are note takers usually, but we're going to go ahead and stand for a moment of silence, and then we'll do the pledge. The pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's all. A note from the chat. Sorry. Did anyone say need anything online? Not seeing the chat. Like all these different things are so different. Okay, so we have all 5 of the board members. Myself and Mr. Kaiser are here in the boardroom, and Ms. Thomas, Ms. Ritchie, and Mr. Dorsey are virtual. So the first agenda item is to review the agenda and to see if we need any adjustments. If we could review that, and then I'll ask for a motion. Does anyone have any changes or additions? I'd like to get a
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
motion by Mr. Kaiser,
Second.
Yep.
second by Ms. Ritchie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I can, Ben, Ashley, yes or no?
Aye.
Okay, and Paula?
She's muted.
I cannot hear you, you're muted.
Still muted.
You want me to call her?
Are we able to unmute them from here?
No, I think they have to do those.
I think I set that up, so.
If you can just raise your hand up for yay, Paula? Okay.
There we go.
All right, so it passes 5-0. All right. Our second agenda item is to consider approval of the minutes from the special board meeting on January the 20th, 2026. Do we have any changes or a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the special call meeting.
Okay, a motion from Mr. Dorsey,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, there you go.
All right.
I'm sorry, my iPad won't do it. I had to get on my phone.
Oh, that's okay. Are you good with that? Okay, so that motion passes 5-0. Okay. Do we have any public comments?
Ms. Fifth, do we have any public comments?
Okay. We don't have any public comments, so we'll go to our next agenda item, and we'll ask Mr. Brandon Watkins to come up, and he's going to talk to us about consider approval of the BG4 for the shear HVAC renovation.
So this is just closeout documentation for that project at Shear that they completed probably about 18 months ago. We hadn't closed it out. We held a little retainage on it because we had some issues with the controls there, and it took them a little time to get that worked out. But everything has been commissioned, and we're good to close it out now.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone online have any questions for Mr. Watkins?
No, looks good.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve BG4 for the shear HVAC renovation?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Ms. Thomas,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Rowland. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes 5-0. All right, the next agenda item is consider approval of invoice 25019, a bunch of 07 to Ross Tarrant Architects for the RDC Baker renovation project in the amount of $82,520.48.
And this is for their design work, which Mr. Buckner is on with us, and we'll be presenting construction documents here in just a moment. But that's what this invoice is for the design and construction document work that they've been putting together and getting everything ready to go out to bid.
And a lot of this is the roofing and those improvements.
Yes, ma'am. It's the roofs at Baker and RDC, the HVAC work and other interior work at RDC, and the potential turfing with athletic fields that we have discussed.
That's right.
I make a motion to approve the invoice.
Okay. Mr. Kaiser makes a motion unless anyone has any questions online.
No, I'll second, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
What'd you say, Ms. Rowland?
I was second, but let Ben have it. He was first.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion by Mr. Kaiser and a second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
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 Are you good, Ms. Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Okay, another, consider approval for BG4 forms for the new Clark County preschool project.
So also on this, you all will see the closeout documentation sent over from Codell for the preschool project. We have wrapped it up much quicker than some of the previous projects, and everything is going good. They have sent over all the closeout documentation, and we just need to sign off on the BG4 and upload all those things into Fact Pack and close that project out as well.
That's crazy. That is just impressive how quickly we got that done. It seems like we just broke ground. So, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Watkins on the BG forms for the preschool project? Okay, I make a motion to approve the BG4.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. And second by Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Okay. All right. Now we will consider approval of the construction documents for the renovation of R.D. Campbell Junior High School, which is BG number 26-108. And this is going to be Brian. So I'm going to pull it around so we can see it.
Hey, good evening. Can you all hear me okay?
We can.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Staying warm. We're like iced in our neighborhood right now in Lexington, so otherwise I would be there with you all tonight. I know that we've sent in the kind of a progress of the construction documents for the RDC HVAC replacement. So that set of documents includes both the architectural portion of the drawings, and it includes the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing portion, which makes up the kind of bulk of the work that's happening there at RDC. So this is separate from the two roofing projects at Baker and RDC. Those are being issued as separate bid packages through Codell. You all have already approved the construction documents on those, so they'll be sent out at the same time we send out the information for RDC HVAC work there. So the work, just as kind of a reminder, the work there includes an HVAC replacement throughout RDC. The vast majority of the systems there, all of the units in the classrooms will be replaced with a similar type of system. We're not going back, we're not doing anything like going and switching to like a geothermal system or anything like that. We're going right back in with the same type of equipment that they had there prior to. The other parts of this project include a couple large alternates. And so the first big alternate that we have is for the window replacement of all of the public-facing windows throughout H-Wing. You'll notice those kind of around the cafeteria, the kitchen, some of the CTE ag science programs in the back, as well as on the rear of the building that faces towards the Phoenix Academy and towards the existing football field. So those windows are being replaced as part of this. We're coming back in with new storefront system. We will have to include some insulated metal panel units to cover up where there's existing walls down low, as well as where we have low ceilings up high on those windows. In a lot of those cases, they extend all the way from the sill up to the roof. It's very similar to what you'll see over at Phoenix. So I think those things will kind of communicate nicely with one another across the property line. And we're looking to, it'll also kind of update those window systems and make it look more in line with the other wings and the other window replacements that have happened here in the past or more recent future. The other portion of the work that will occur here is some ceiling replacement. Some of that is in the base bid, and some of that's as part of an alternate. So the base bid part of the work is the ceilings that are in the band and orchestra rooms on the kind of backside adjacent to the auditorium. At RDC, a lot of those ceiling grids are sagging, they look bad. So we're coming in we're going to remove all the pads. So the actual tile itself is going to come down and be removed. And we're asking the contractor to come back in with new T-grids that's going to connect and turn all that existing ceiling grid into a 2x2 system. So it'll be a smaller tile. Those tiles will then go in, and we do not see sagging out of 2x2 tiles. So both, the more updated version of those ceiling tiles, they have kind of humidity resistance in them, and also just the size. They tend to sag a lot less. Same thing over the media center. We're looking at an alternate to replace all of the ceiling throughout the media center. It'll go again back in at the same grid elevation. We're going to switch that also over to a 2x2, leaving the soffit kind of bulkhead wall that's in the middle of the room in place. And also replacing lighting as part of that alternate number 2. So we'll have that as part of the electrical drawings that you can flip through and look at as well. That comprises the vast majority of the work that's happening at RDC, both from an HVAC and some of the architectural scope. We also have doors and door hardware that's being replaced in H-Wing as well that I forgot to mention. We're keeping the existing door frames in place, putting brand new doors in with new door hardware. That will also kind of bring a lot of those doors up to meet the Senate and House bills that have approved all the student or school safety measures going back to 2019. That'll update most of those doors, keep them in line with that, and also provide new doors in all of those locations, which will look a lot better. I think that kind of comprises the scope of the work there at RDC for the HVAC renovation as well as the window replacements. So the plan right now, I have a call with John Hagan and their new project manager for these projects at Odell. We're meeting in the morning just to kind of talk through bidding process and schedule and everything like that. So the idea right now is that we're still sending drawings this week. We'll be sending those over to Codell. Codell typically will have to take a little bit of time to kind of break everything out to bid packages. They wrap up the front end specifications of the project, and then all of that can get posted out to bid. Those will be bid in separate bid packages from contractor types. So we'll have a roofing contractor that'll do the spray foam. We'll have one that'll do the metal roofing over at Baker. We'll have an HVAC contract and all those kind of typical bid packages for this work. And then we will be coming back through to get approval on the bids once those are received about a month out. And then they will be able to begin work starting in April.
Now, can you talk a little bit about the doors? Are they all at RDC that need to be replaced?
It's just for RDC right now that we're replacing doors in the H wing of the building. So looking into the classrooms, and there's some storage rooms and a few places like some offices that are in that area that we're going ahead and replacing as well. But primarily it's all the doors that are in H wing that are being removed. They'll be replaced with a new door itself, again leaving the frames in place and new door hardware.
Does that go all the way around to where the music rooms are? And is that all H-wing? Like, that's what we used to call H-wing. That's why I just want to make sure that I'm...
I got you. It'll be both on the cafeteria side, down past the kitchen on the right-hand side, and on the left. So as you're kind of walking down, once you've come through the main lobby and you make that first kind of left-hand turn into H-wing, we're replacing the vast majority of those doors all the way down through that space. As well as when you get up on the back corridor and you turn left, that series of doors kind of on both sides there. We have a few on the opposite side that face the classroom wings that will be replaced as part of each wing, but the vast majority are on that kind of opposite side of the building facing the parking lots.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It
If you ever look at the drawings, you'll see that the ones that we have a door tag kind of next to in the floor plans and the new work plans are identifying which ones we're taking out. I can tell you here in just a second, I think it's a total of 26 to 30 doors.
Yeah, pretty sure those doors have been there a long time. So, like, 35 years ago.
We've already replaced the gym
Yep,
doors.
30 doors. Yeah. 30 doors in total are being replaced. And the main thing there is just is getting updated door hardware. Obviously, some of those doors are older. Some of them have louvers in them, and it'll be nice to kind of update all the way through that area.
That's good. Does anyone else have any questions?
No, it's much needed, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
How many, are any of those doors exterior doors?
We have, so the doors going into the media center, the library media center are getting replaced. There is an exterior door on the back side of the media center that they've had some issues with some settlement going on. We're going to replace that door in frame in that location. Other than that, I can show you, we are not doing any other exterior doors as part of that. Everything else is interior. Excuse me, the end of the middle classroom wing that goes out on the first floor, we're replacing that set of doors as well. That was an old hollow metal system. We're going to take that out and put a new storefront door system in there with new door hardware as well.
Where was that?
That would be exterior door.
Where was that at again?
In the middle two-story classroom wing going out, the exit door going all the way out at the end.
It used to be the freshman wing.
Yeah.
R1,
Okay.
AB.
Goes out into the back parking lot.
That's right.
Yeah, I think our wing is the front.
years old.
I feel like I mess up the lettering on those all the time. Sorry. Freshman week, yeah, it's the one right in the middle. All the way out.
Yeah, we went there and they called it different things at different times. So
Yep.
it's all good. Well, thank you for all that work. There's a lot, and I think it's important that we update this and, maintain this building because it's, definitely needs a lot of updating. So does anyone else have any questions online or Carl anymore?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, so I just need a motion to approve the construction documents for the renovation of R.D. Campbell Junior High School, BG number 26108.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Dorsey makes a motion. Do I have a second? I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes 5-0. Okay. Our next agenda item, we will be considering approval to purchase 12 new buses, and Mr. Darren Snell is here to talk to us. I'm going to move you guys around so you can see Mr. Snell. There you go.
All right, if you look at the spreadsheet, Casey's gonna bring up here, I highlighted the 12 through the 15 model buses that we have. We've got 20 of those that need to be replaced as quick as we can. We've already put 2 motors in, 2 of the 15s, 2 of the 12s. If we continue to run them, we would need to put motors in there. We're spending roughly $20,000 a piece for a motor. We have 40,000 this year. 2 motors in. When we go to sell those, we're not going to know for a year. That type of thing. We'll get paid for those. I'd rather run those long as we can. But on the spreadsheet, I put down the first several columns are all illustrated for KEE. That's from the bus inventory that we enter in there. The last 2 columns are miles and hours. Important column, more important one, probably the hours. Just because the bus has 100,000 miles, it may have 11,000 hours on it. We could have a bus with 200,000 miles, only 8,000 hours. So the hours is probably the more important column as far as determining how long the buses are going to last. The plan would be to buy 12 this year. We've got 7 orders that have not come in. They don't replace any of these. At least initially they weren't going to. We're probably going to replace these 2, 1231, 1233, and keep running 2010 models, because they're better buses than the 12s. But the plan is to replace 12 of these this year. Next year, there's a new motor coming out. I will have to wait a year, let them work the kinks out of that and finish replacing those. After that, after these are replaced, they're going to stay there to work. Got rid of. We should not have to order a large number of buses in any one. Shouldn't have to order more six. Probably not even that.
So if I'm not mistaken, since you've come into this position, you've had to really do a really good inventory of our buses and look at it. We've had to replace a number
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, we've replaced several. When I got the position, we started looking at the miles on the buses and where we had them. We had buses 10 years old that were in town that never left in town. So they were very low miles. We switched those, put them on county routes. We had some county buses that were 3 years old that had almost 100,000 miles on them. So we brought those into town. But when you purchase a bus, you get a 5-year warranty. 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty is what it was when we purchased those. We don't want to get to that warranty after year 3. We want to extend that. We're probably not going to get to year 5 on most, but you want to get as close as you can to save as much money as you can. Yeah.
I think we had talked about how we're going to fund this. Can we talk a little bit about that, where the funding will come from?
Come from our bonding capacity. I think it was the thing to go with 12 buses now. The more we order, the better our interest rate's going to be. That's the same financing that we did with the last round that we ordered 2 years ago. And I believe we saved about $60,000 to $80,000.
Any other board members have a question for
I got-
Mr. Snell?
So, looking at your chart, there's a 2014 real high on the list, bus 66. Did we, I don't say bus,
Which one you looking at?
bus 5.
Bus 5 was purchased from another county.
Okay.
That's why it's a little different. You got no cash value to it because we just.
Yeah, that's what I was-
It was either Oldham County or they've been the same.
Okay.
That's why that one's a little different. Cash value, that's just what KDE determines cash value is.
Yeah,
Depreciation is what you get back every year on that bus from KDE through your city funds.
yeah.
So you get money back for the first 14 years.
So after 14 years, there's no use having the bus, period. You don't get no money for it or nothing.
What's that?
Is that what you said after the first 14 years?
14 years, you get money back from the state. It's a different percentage for like years 0 through 6,
Yes,
7 through whatever.
but after it's 14 years
After
old, it's
14 years,
useless.
You get nothing back.
It's useless as a district to
Yeah.
have.
But then that's based off the base price of the bus, doesn't include any options you put on it.
Okay.
Yeah. But typically the state will give you back more than 100% too.
Any other questions for Mr. Snell?
No, I make the motion to approve.
Okay. I have a motion by Mrs. Rowland to approval. Paula, is that a second?
That was me.
Okay. A second by Mrs. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion passes 5-0. Okay. Our next agenda item is student learning. It's acknowledgement of Flight Academy update. Ms. Kelly Pittman.
Good evening. Tonight we wanted to provide an update on Flight Academy. So I'll go through each of these slides just so that you all have an awareness of what it is and what type of program that we are able to provide to our students that we've not been able to provide in the past. So through the 21st Century Learning Grant, we are able to extend the school day for all 4 of our elementary schools. We are extending it by 2 hours, so when school ends, the students that are enrolled in this program start at 2:45, so right after the school day ends, and they wrap up at 4:45, so an additional 2 hours every single day. Again, this is a service to all 4 elementary schools, and it focuses more on enrichment and then also remediation. We are very fortunate to be able to provide transportation through this grant. So all of our students who attend, who so need transportation home in the afternoon, we're able to provide that. And then also, all of our students are provided a meal through our food services program. So not only are they getting breakfast and lunch through the school day, but they're also able to receive a dinner before they go home in the evening as well. The next slide just shows a few of our pictures of our students engaged in the program and multiple activities. And the next slide features some of the enrollment numbers, which this has already changed since this was first submitted. Since this was the first time that we embarked on this program, we started with very low numbers as we navigated through the processes and the procedures and the structure of the entire program. We first started with students who had attended our Literacy Liftoff program in the summer. So those students were first identified and asked to attend this. And then as the school year has progressed, we have enrolled additional students, and all of our schools are in the 60s and 70s for enrollment. We will not go much beyond that because per the grant, we do keep a ratio of 15-to-1 for this after-school initiative, but we have expanded and have added teachers in some of our buildings as well to be able to provide the service for more students. So those numbers are already not what they are today. Next, we have been looking at our data since this has taken flight since September, so that was our first week of enrollment. And this not only reflects things that are going on in Flight Academy, but our instructional processes across the district and in the classroom. But this specifically identifies those students who are enrolled. I'll really focus more, not so much on the individual slides, this one being window 1, and we'll progress to the next one, which is window 2. But specifically, if you'll go one more, this is that comparison between windows 1 and 2. So you'll notice that we are closing the gap in those students who are 3 or more grade levels below and 2 grade levels below, as we have made a reduction. This is specific to reading. And then we are increasing those who are on grade level or simply 1 grade level below. So all of those numbers are very promising to all the structures that we're putting in place. Likewise, if you'll progress to the next slide, we also have math displaying window 1 and then again window 2. But what I think is most promising to look at is that comparison showing that we are moving students. We're reducing those who are again in the 3 or 4 or 3 or more grade levels below, 2 grade levels below, and increasing those that are on grade level. And then on the last slide, you will notice the next steps. We are continuing to look at the data and what instructional supports we need to put into place for the teachers who are running this program. We're also really focusing on attendance. This program does run 4 days a week, and we're showing the most gains for those students who attend all 4 days, as it's an additional 8 hours of programming every single week for those specific students. So we're trying to put some incentives in place as the year progresses, and they are staying an additional 2 hours after school. And then summer planning is well underway. So this program will partner with Literacy Liftoff. So we're going to have a summer flight academy, which we will have the whole month of June, and we are going to expand and have it 20 days versus 18 and a longer day. Last 2 years, we only offered reading for 4 hours a day. We're going to be reading and math and expand the program for 6 hours. And we'll do that the entire month of June. So that planning and programming is well underway. So we just wanted to make sure that you all were well aware of the extras that we were doing beyond the school day.
And that 21st Century Learning Grant, that's paying for all of this.
Yes.
How long will it sustain this?
When we get the grant, it's a 5-year grant.
Okay.
However, it is federal funding, so although we have been awarded the grant for 5 years, we have been told, of course, the year that we're in, we're getting the money, and we have been told they already have the funds for next school year.
Okay, so at least this year and next year.
Yes, and then beyond that, I mean, we have been accepted as far as receiving the grant, so as long as federally they fund it, we'll receive it. But I don't think we'll know beyond next school year until closer to time.
Okay.
But we at least do have it this year and next for sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
Anyone online have questions or comments?
Love it.
Look at the program.
Yes, awesome. All right. Well, that was just an acknowledgement, so we'll go on to acknowledgement of mid-year iReady results.
Yes, ma'am. So we have taken our universal screener, which is iReady. We did this in August and then again in December. And I'm now bringing the results to you so you can have a comparison point. I did not at the beginning of the year simply because it is more of a baseline. I feel like bringing this to you at this point, you can compare to see where we were and where we are now. You'll see on the first slide is just that key to what the data looks like. It's a 5-level placement. Obviously, we want to be in that green area, the green or the striped green, showing our students on grade level or above. But simply, it is by no surprise that at the beginning of the school year, you'll have a lot of students in the yellow, which is marking that they are 1 grade level below, simply because the year hasn't started. So it is, when you look at the results, when a student is showing in the very first window 1 that they are in more in the yellow, that is actually where they should be because they have not learned the standards for that specific grade level. If you'll look at the kindergarten reading and math, we only have 1 data placement for them as our students take a different measure at the beginning of the school year. Regance, that is the name of that screener that we're required to take. So we have recently taken the first window for kindergarten and we'll have another data point in May for kindergarten. We try not to over-assess. So since they take a different one at the beginning of the school year, we only take iReady twice for our kindergarten students. So you'll really look more at the comparison starting at first grade if you'll progress to this next slides. Specifically, we're looking at reading first, and I will not go through every single slide, but you'll notice, I'll just use first grade as a comparison. Both window 1 and window 2 are noted on each one. And you'll notice for every single grade level, every single subject, reading and math, we are closing the gap and reducing the amount of students who are below grade level and increasing the amount of students who are on or above grade level. And that is across the board in all of our grades and all subjects, 1st through 8th grade. So I won't go through every single one of them, but there is improvements.
Go ahead, bam!
Bam!
There it is.
He does it a lot better than I do.
He
Or
has
is that you?
kind of a jarring.
Yes.
So I get excited. I get excited about this.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we had well, it's just something to celebrate right there.
It is, it is. Our students will also take the 3rd screener again in April for students who are tested in the tested areas for state. So 3rd grade through 8th grade will take this screener again before spring break. So that way when we return for spring break, we have uninterrupted instruction in those weeks leading up to our Kentucky assessment. And then in grades K, 1st and 2nd, they will take this screener the last 14 days of school. So when our other grades are taking the KSA, K1 and 2 will take the iReady screener. So I'll have more data to bring to you in May, early June, showing the progression throughout the full school year. The very last slide just shows the areas of focus that we're looking at as an instructional and academic team. As far as looking overall at all of our data for reading, we are really noticing the need to focus more on our knowledge building skills. The past 2 years, we've put a huge focus on foundational skills, really that phonics instruction, and we are seeing growth across the board in phonics. But we have noticed that our comprehension skills are lacking. So we are now working on overcoming that. We are piloting some more resources for our teachers to be able to use in the classroom because that is a gap that we have in our district. We have provided training for our teachers and the resources for foundations for that phonics piece, and we're seeing the gains. We have yet to do that for the knowledge building, that comprehension component. While you can't do everything all at once, so we knew it would be a layered approach. We're now working on that other component of reading. So that's really a focus area for us across the district. Math, some of our areas that were more Low in scores are some of the domains that have not been taught yet, so measurement and data and geometry. Those are some of the areas that really showed a deficit. However, those have not been taught across the board as we look at the full scope and sequence of our plans for the school year, so we'll continue to monitor that. And then as an instructional team, we dive into these iReady results. We're looking at what does it look like for an intentional, a whole grade level? What does it look like per school? And then digging deeper into classrooms to see where we need to provide the most support, and then having those discussions with administrators just to see where we need to support the most in each school. Do y'all have any questions?
Sounds like a great plan.
It's just impressive how, it's really cool that you can like drill down like that all the way to the classroom level and see, because could that make it above a classroom could make a difference in that. So, yeah, it's fantastic. Anyone online have any questions or comments for Ms. Fitton?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fitz.
All right, our next agenda item is acknowledgement of the monthly CCPS financial update by Ms. Alicia Ellis.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Sorry I could not be there in person. So we are in good shape, tracking along for this time of the year. Our taxes are on point. Thank you to the sheriff. We are at 99% collection for our property taxes. So woohoo, that is awesome. Motor vehicle, we're at 44%, and franchise, we're at 31% with all of our checks that have come in at the start of January, so that is fantastic news. Our overall receipts are at 60%, so we're a little bit over halfway at the December mark for our receipts, so that is good. Expenses are 44%, so we're a little bit under that 50% mark, which is, we're halfway through the year, so that's tracking really good and on par for what we were this same time last year. Any questions?
Do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, any questions online?
No, ma'am.
All right. So our next agenda item is to authorize payment of salaries and accounts payable.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
All right, motion by Mr. Dorsey and second by Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Okay. The next agenda item is consider approval of the School Facilities Construction Commission SFCC offer of assistance for annual debt service. Ms. Ellis.
So every 2 years, they offer, with the budget cycle, this for our bonding capacity. So this is what adds to our bonding capacity that we then, when we go to sell our bonds, there's a portion that they give us for that bonding to pay back our debt, is what this is. So this is you accepting that offer from them. So we just need you all to agree to accept that so that it helps pay on the debt and get a portion of bonding.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Ellis?
No, I will motion to approve the SFCC offer of assistance.
I have a motion by Mr. Dorsey. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Rowland. All those in favor say aye.
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 There we go. Ms. Thomas, I didn't see you because you were covered up. Did you say yes?
I said yes.
Okay. Motion passes 5-0. All right. Our next agenda item is acknowledgement of procedure 04.1 AP.2. Ms. Ellis.
So we're asking you all to approve just the update to this procedure. It is pretty out of date from what it was sitting in our procedure manual. We, as a team, went through this and just updated it to what we actually do for the budget cycle timeline currently.
Okay. So this is an acknowledgement. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Okay. So that's just an acknowledgement. Our next agenda item is consider discussion and approval to seek bids on the purchase of the district's educational broadband service.
So several districts have a broadband service, and we currently lease ours. But we have been approached of having it purchased, and just for legality reasons, that's something that we need to bid out to see the interest of that, and optional. So we're asking your permission to bid out those services instead of just going with the person who has asked us to purchase it out directly, to see what the interest and possible bid prices could be on that.
Questions?
Yeah. What does he think about that?
What does who think about that?
Justin.
Dustin or Justin?
Justin, since
Mr. Kaysen? Mr. Kaysen, what do you think?
I think it's a fantastic idea to bid it out and see what vendors are willing to pay for a service that, for a wireless spectrum that we simply don't use. It sits mostly idle.
Okay. Did you hear him, Paula?
I did, yes.
Okay. So can you talk a little bit more when you say it sits idle? So what does that mean for us lay people?
So we have access to a wireless spectrum, kind of like how your phone is on 5G or 6 or whatever you might have, 2.4. Some schools have access to a educational wireless spectrum, and we've had it for about 20 years. And it was given to us by the FCC about 20 years ago. And an idea 20 years ago was that those schools would use the spectrum to build their own networks, internet networks, but that is not financially feasible for any of the districts because KDE provides high-speed broadband internet as it is. So we would spend millions of dollars up front for something that we don't really need to build.
Okay. So then for us to seek bids on what does it do for us to seek bids out for this?
Madam Chairman, if I may.
What was that?
I said, Madam Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
I reached out to the Kentucky Department of Education when the district first got some interest in selling that, because the question is it property? Is it something that has to be surplus and bid? And their legal team at first was like, we don't know, but let's look into it. So they looked into it further. Of course, there's a lot of federal regulations involved, but they did advise us to bid that out before just selling it, as you would surplus property or anything of that nature.
Okay.
But we don't have to surplus it first, do we?
No,
Okay,
no, just solicit bids.
okay.
Mr. Howard, what is your thoughts on this?
I absolutely recommend seeking bids, and then what we'll do is once we get those bids, we don't have to accept them necessarily, but it gives us an option to see where we're at and financially possibly give a pretty significant cash inflow to the district on something to Mr. Cason's point that really we're not getting much out of right now. So it's going to give us options. It's a really good conversation, hopefully.
Okay. All right. Do I have any other questions for anyone? Okay. All right. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion
Okay.
to seek bids on the purchase of the district's educational broadband service.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Kaiser. Do I have a second? I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, motion passes 5-0. All right, our next agenda item is consider approval of the 26-27 draft budget by Mrs. Ellis.
All right, so this is our first cycle of the budget for next school year, and we know very little at this point. This is always a hard budget at this point, because we know nothing with legislation. We're still waiting on lots of decisions to come out of that. We don't know what we're going to do with our tax rate yet. We don't know what SEEK's going to do. We haven't decided if we're going to do raises yet. So there's a lot of unknowns, and we're just trying to basically check a box that KDE says, put a budget together. So we did our best, and hopefully you've had a chance to look through the PowerPoint, but the basic is we rolled over our current budget, gave step raises, added the positions with preliminary allocations of where we have estimated enrollment increases, and program things that we foresee that we would like to increase, such as we're expanding our preschool. I think you all have seen that announcement that we've put out to the community. That's our biggest thing where we are focusing. So we've expanded some classrooms there, which then in turn means increasing teachers and instructional assistants. So with all of that being said, this is kind of where the budget falls out at this point. Do you all have any direct questions from after reviewing the PowerPoint that you'd like to ask? I literally have not changed taxes, seek, any of that. So we're being very basic at this point, just so everybody knows, because we know nothing.
It's still sitting at the 5.3. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No questions either.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Where is the decrease in the general fund revenues?
The decrease in the general fund revenues.
Yeah, it says
So-
overall decrease of 1.5.
Yeah, so the overall budget is decreasing by 1.5. So the biggest part of that has to do with fund transfers. So with this upcoming bond sale and what we're doing with, and knowing that our debt is going to increase on that side from selling a bond and using capital funds for the buses and those projects that we just talked about with RDC and Baker and roofs and all those renovations, we are not banking on having that excess capital funding that we've been funneling over to general fund. So if you look kind of in that third little box where it says fund transfers decreasing 1.3 million, like that's the bulk of the decrease. We have been used to having some excess funding that we funnel over to general fund from that. So that's the bulk of the decrease.
Okay.
That's not to say once we finalize all the bond discussion and figuring out, working with Compass, that we might have some capital funding, but right now we just 100% don't want to bank on that in the budget, because this is kind of our worst case scenario budget.
Yeah.
So we're just pulling all of that out to say, worst case scenario, we don't have that revenue source. Here's what it's going to look like if that is not a revenue source we can count on.
Sounds good.
Because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, sounds good, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Ellis? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the draft budget for 26-27? I'll make that
So,
motion. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
No, you're fine, Mr. Dorsey. And I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Okay? All right, now we're gonna listen to Mr. Howard. I'm turning you around so you can see him.
I'm on the screen. Hello, everyone. Hopefully everybody's safe and warm. Clearly, we've been working very, very hard to make sure we're cleaning parking lots, sidewalks, buildings and grounds. Of course, we've been on emergency management phone calls twice a day since Sunday between Mr. Watkins, myself, Mr. Snell, Chief Hall, working with our EOC emergency management system. So literally we are connecting with our district to communicate about needs. The sheriff's on there, the police chief's on there, judge executive, mayor, fire, roads department, all of us working singularly to try to make sure we're aligned, and if some things come up between our calls, making sure we support each other. So I just want to give a big shout out really to the EOC and Perry and the entirety of our community, because not everyone does it this way. They can't get along, and we've been very blessed to have good partners. And in our own ranks, really want a huge shout out to our custodial crews, to our maintenance folks, and I'm gonna name them by name, because they have literally worked 12 to 15 to 16, 20-hour shifts, to ensure that as soon as we can get back to school, we can. That's not happened. I don't foresee it to happen. We'll do a little bit more with that later. But Adam Dunaway, Alan Henry, Vonley Haney Jr., Bradley Hardy, Shannon Gregory, Sean Igo, Jermaine Dobson, Tony Ricketts, Bailey Craig, Joey McLeese, and our own Billy Dameron, tried to leave himself off the list, and Brandon Watkins. Again, huge, gigantic shout out to those folks. You don't see those things. You see the plows and the trucks, backhoes, skid steers. If there's a piece of machinery, we had a pickaxe out here at the office trying to get the sidewalks cleared for this meeting tonight. So I can't say enough about their hard work. As far as other things in the district, do want to highlight to double down on what Ms. Fitton was talking about with our literacy programs. We're making gains not just through adopting the curriculum. We're making gains through growing greatness in our staff with professional development and specifically coaching. So we're coming off of our last round of OG coaching. We're walking into classrooms. We're seeing if it's being done appropriately, coaching them up, strategies, how do we get kids to read. We have invested a tremendous amount in Orton Gillingham with phonics, foundational skills with literacy, because if you can learn how to read by the 3rd grade, we're gonna win. And when I mean we, the kids, families of Clark County are gonna win for the rest of their lives. That's how much I believe in this initiative in early childhood in general. So huge shout out for the intentionality. Continue to monitor legislative bills. We're in a budgeting session, so as I get updates, as you guys know, I forward those on to not only the board members, but my central office staff, our principals, so we can kind of track specifically educational front force facing bills. Once we get farther into the session, I do plan on reaching out to Representative Dotson and Senator Elkins to see if they can come give us some updates in person. So we'll try to get that done maybe in March. Like I said, everything now is either in committee or preliminary for the most part, including the budget bill. Big news, we're gonna have a ribbon cutting / open house. That is for our Hannah McClure Cardinal Community Center. We received a ton of positive feedback about the work being done there with community education classes, with making it available to really lean in again to our vision to connect the district and community as one to grow greatness. So that'll be February 16th. Mark your calendars. We'll have a window that is actually on President's Day. So between 1 and 4, the ribbon cutting will be at 1, but we'll have tours, some snacks, definitely chocolate chip cookies and lemonade. I'm a big fan of those things. But that is February 16th from 1 to 4. And the last thing I'll mention, just because we do a lot of great things with extracurriculars, and sometimes some groups don't get mentioned, but we had a group of talented young people compete in the regional swim and dive competition last weekend and finished second in the entire region. Our region is all of Fayette County. It's probably the most competitive region in the state of Kentucky. We finished second. So a huge shout out to the parents, our student athletes, the coaches, Parks and Rec, College Park. It's really a huge collaboration. Utilize that pool. We put a new diving board down there, so our divers scored 40+ points and moved us from probably 5th to 2nd. And that's improvements and investments the board has made with taxpayer dollars to make sure our kids don't have to go out of town to practice. So it's another shining example of how we're spending our money, being very student-facing, and providing opportunities for them to grow greatness in them. And that's pretty much it. I had some BCTC really great conversations on where we're at with dual credit, some expansions we're looking forward to, but I don't have all the details on what we're going to do next year, but I'd like to bring them in the next couple months, really have them update the board, kind of like we did in the fall. Not just dual credit with our associate's degree program, but dual credit with academics, but dual credit Big shout out to Dr. McCall and her work at the ATC with CTE dual credit opportunities. I'm really excited about some of the things we're talking about with that. So other than that, I guess I'll field any questions you may have.
Has BCTC, have they started doing anything with that old Amazon building? Is it their new big building?
So they've not physically started building. I think their vision is for it to be a workforce readiness center, collaborating with not only the schools, but the industrial park, with businesses, folks like the Allen Company, to be an in the park training facility where if you get hired by a company in the industrial park or in Clark County, you can send your folks to get trained there, even with things like industrial maintenance. But they're still slow rolling in that. I'm not going to speak for them because I don't run that particular spot, but I think it could be an opportunity for our kids as well. So we've had some, for our whole community, we've had some conversations about that. Good question.
That's exciting. So, all right, any questions online for Mr. Howard? Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Howard. Some exciting stuff. So, our next agenda item is our consent agenda items.
I got a question on one thing in the consent. Number 12. It says consider approval out of state for GRC Winter Guard to participate in Winter Guard competition. Where's Henryville High School? You don't list where they're going.
Oh,
I don't know where that's at out of state.
like Ohio or, let's see, anybody know? It sounds like in Ohio.
Just Google, it says it's in Indiana.
Indiana.
Indiana?
Up north.
Okay. I just wondered. And if he's going to California, I mean, you know, you don't know.
No, I think that's a good question, so.
I'll follow, make sure we do a better job on the state too next time. Thank you. Because the other one says Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah,
You know where
that's
that
what-
one is,
I
yeah.
mean, it's exact there. So
Yep.
I was just wondering, I just want to make sure, like say, on a long trip or what, you know.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any other questions online for the consent items? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
I'll make that motion.
Somebody else can talk.
Second.
All of them.
It was,
Ashley.
because they sounded, okay. So Ms. Thomas and then Ms. Rowland, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ashley, did you say aye? I'm sorry.
I did.
Okay. All right, motion passes 5-0. And then our last agenda item is to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, motion by Mrs. Rowland. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Ms. Thomas. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned at 6:58 p.m. Okay, thank you all. Everyone
Thank
stay
you.
safe, warm, dry, all that good stuff.